What up, everybody out there, podcast land? Thank you for tuning in yet again to another episode of Kane and Ross present the Yeah I Said It podcast, where we are always expressing what our full capabilities until they might want us in correctional facilities. I am the dad half of this operation, you know, Ross Cooper, as always, rocking with the best. Marco host, please introduce yourself to the folk.
Companies profit over black trauma. Yeah, well, what's good, everybody? Hope everybody's having a good day, month, year, hour, second, minute, all that good stuff. If you're watching on any of the other platforms that we upload to, please thank you. Share with your friend, family, enemies, pets, aliens, whoever. And if you're watching on YouTube, please like, share, comment, subscribe, and do all that good stuff. Because if you don't, the pandemic ain't going to end until 2030. So if you don't want it to not end till 2030, you should do everything I just told you to do. All right, good.
All right, so hold up though. We gotta rewind like 2 seconds there. Companies profit off of black trauma. Where'd that bar come from? You got me on that one. That's worth repeating.
That's Nas. That came off his new album.
Okay, you got me. I have not. You talking about the Magic joint, right?
Magic. Yeah, that's where I got it from.
Okay, cool. We about to go off script real quick. Sad day for real hip hop fans. We just found out Pete Rock is suing Nas over unpaid royalties from The World Is Yours. It was 94. Being like, yeah, it's wild. Pete Rock is now suing Nas because he didn't get his bread for The World Is Yours. And anybody familiar with real hip hop, yes, I said it. Real hip hop, and arguably the greatest album ever made in rap history. Illmatic, The World Is Yours was the Don P watching Gandhi slump charge and writing in my book of rhymes, all the words past the margin. Pete Rock got a writing credit, the whole nine. So to come out now and be like, yeah, I'm suing you for unpaid bread, like that's wild. Brothers better work it out, man. Brothers gotta work it out. Chuck
That's
D
not,
voice, brothers gotta
yeah,
work it out.
that sounds like something that the label would be doing, not Nas.
It sounded like, and I read this brief article pondering what could have happened. And it might have been a case where Pete's lawyers was going through the books and was like, wait a minute, you supposed to have a check for blah 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 blah. Did you ever get that check from Nas? Yo, you right, I didn't. So we'll see. You talking two legends in the game, man. I hope they work that out and it's
Yeah,
all love.
we don't need to Ether part
But,
two. So yeah, let's go.
yeah. So first show of the new year. I want to first and foremost thank everybody out there for rocking with us. What we vow to do in 2022, the year of our Lord, is keep giving you what we give you. Just make sure it be more consistent. I understand fully we had a few gaps a couple times last year. We want to make sure we give it to you. You want to make sure you can count on the Yeah I Said It podcast every week. So we're gonna do what it do. That also means sometimes you might get us not looking at 100%. Sometimes you got cats over here with hoodies on. You know what I mean? Sometimes
This
that's what it's
is
gonna be.
it's a protest, Rick Ross. Keep playing with me.
Yo, really? Rick? Oh, wow. We doing
Mr.
that?
Mr. Pretty Boy talking about I don't like beers. And now you
Oh,
got a
you
beard.
ain't. No, no,
That's
no, no,
crazy. That's
sir.
crazy.
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. We not gonna do that. We are not setting the year off that way. Ain't nothing pretty over here, homie. We ain't never doing that. What you talking about, yo? What you
Got
talking
it all
about?
lined up. Look at you,
Really,
boy.
yo? Really, yo? Well, that's what we doing now. What I mean, yo, your pops ain't never been on no pretty boy nonsense, B. Like, what are you talking about? Anyway, back to the lecture at hand. As I was saying,
Right.
we gonna make sure to be consistent. Make sure you can count on Yeah I Said a podcast every week, giving it to you. You know what I mean? Even if we ain't got nothing heavy to talk about. And I'll be honest, this doesn't mean we're gonna change the content because I believe what we do is necessary. I'm kind of tired of having to talk about some of the stories we talk about. Like we got to talk about one today, and I'm like, yes, for the record, like I can tell you this, speaking on our behalf, and I can't even call us quote unquote activists in the sense of we not out there front line. We are not front line activists. We use this platform to talk about the things we see and bring awareness to people in a way they might not otherwise know about. and bring it to you, obviously from a father-son generational standpoint. But if we just doing this, I'm tired, man. I can't imagine what the Sean Kings, Tamika Mallory's, and everybody, and all the front line activists go through. I know they gotta be tired. Cause it's like it
Everybody's
starts to
done.
weigh. It starts to weigh on you like, fam, it's now 2022. We still dealing with this. Like, in a
Toast.
nutshell, I've said this. Essentially, this country suffers from they haven't a lot of folk just still haven't understood that A, the South lost the Civil War, and B, what the Civil War was about. And it's sad because that was 1865. And yet here we are dealing with the after effects, the residuals of that. And I like I said, we're not frontline activists. We use our platform to talk about things, but we ain't out there, popping, with the signs and going getting locked up yet.
Not yet.
I said yet. I said yet, but I'm really hoping by my birthday, which is in June, the tone of things will change. But I just want to take a sec. We had a good we had it was a crazy year, man. It was year two, the pandemic, a lot of happened. Game review. I'm trying to think of some cool stuff that happened. Well, we finally got a Matrix movie. Wavy hand on that. Wavy hand. Spider-Man closed out the year on a movie tip really, really well. I don't know if you saw it yet. No Time to Die. The last Daniel Craig Bond joint was crazy good, but we just saw a lot of things happen. What did we get? We ended up with three different variants this year. Did we get three? I think it was three last year. We started off with the original. Then we
Yeah.
got the remix. You know, the Diggity Delta. Then we got the remix, and then at the end of the year, we kind of got the
Omicron.
yeah, we got the Omicron joint. So we got three variants in one year. So let's do the math on that. That's like every 4 months. New shit. Got that new variant, exclusive. And it's not to make light of it. It's just like, damn, B, when will it end? When will it end?
I mean, the way that the CDC, the government, and all them are talking, they don't know what the hell's going on in them damn selves. So
All right.
we all in the same book. Like we just going with the flow at this point. We don't know what the hell's going on.
Well, I mean, according to Bill Gates, and please hold the laughter. According to Bill Gates, in a hot minute, it's just gonna be like having the flu. All right, that's now. We're gonna ignore the fact that a computer guy is giving us medical advice. Like, wait a minute, didn't you make Windows? How did we get from Windows to you being a foremost authority? Anywho, we're gonna ignore the obvious because somehow folks been going to Bill Gates for medical advice. But according to old Bill, and take it for what you will, yeah, it'll be like the flu in a little while. So I'm hoping that that's gonna be the case by like my birthday. I'm doing a year in review and I'm looking ahead a little bit. I'm hoping by mid-year it's like, oh yeah, COVID. Ah, cool. You'll be all right. Sit down for like 5 days, you cool.
No, it's not gonna be like that.
What you think so? Okay, what part don't you think is gonna be like that?
I'm saying I think Bill might have a point that it might be like the flu. Yeah, in the next couple of years, not by July, not by June or July.
I mean, we went through three variants in a year. We
And it's not stopping. And now they're starting to combine. like Voltron.
So we got the posse cut now. That's what we getting. We
about
got
to
the
get-
remix. We got the B side. Now we got the posse cut coming.
We got Deltacron, baby. So it's starting to come together like Voltron, baby, or the Megatroids, or Zoids from Power Rangers. All my people know that. So yeah. So at this point, they don't know what's going on. They keep switching the guidelines and moving the goalposts. So it's like, well, what do we do?
I'm going to say this from the standpoint of being objective because a lot of people, once you choose a side, people think the only thing you do is see things through that side. And I think you and I, at least, and a lot of people I know and been having conversations with, but you and I at least have done a relatively good job of saying, hey, here's our stance, but we can still maintain objectivity. And I don't think anybody on either side can deny when you start critically thinking a little bit, it does raise an eyebrow because he went from, and I know the obvious out is always going to be, well, the science changes. Like I told you, we're building a plane as we're flying it. Cool.
That still makes no sense. But go
I,
ahead.
I mean, hey, listen. I'm just saying, like, when the CDC was like, no, 5 days, you're good.
Yeah,
That stands in stark contrast to what we've been told, homie. What you
yeah,
talking about?
but they're also saying you can still be positive. You just gotta be non-symptomatic, and we all know the reason for that is due to businesses putting pressure on them. So
And that's the
that
part
part
I
is
was
easy.
gonna say.
I'm gonna say that part is easy. I'm just saying all the other shit is like what. Yeah, I don't know what's
Well,
going on.
hold on. And it goes back to the lesson I told you when you were a kid. If you ever got questions, follow the money. And once you find that answer out, a lot of the other answers become clear. And it's like, if we're following the money, this starts to look a little suspect. And this is just being objective. This has nothing to do with my personal stance on jabs or not. I'm just saying, is somebody getting paid off this? Is there some profit to be made? And when you start talking about, oh no, 5 days, you're good. Not even sit for 5 days, and then wait, it's no 5 days, you're good. You can go back to work. Okay, wait, hold on. Actually, 5 days, you're good as long as you got no symptoms. And I'm like, but before it was all of like I told you, this was Nightmare on Elm Street originally. It's very simple rules. Go to sleep, Freddy gets you. Done. For those who don't know, I'm talking Nightmare on Elm Street. I don't know. I'm presuming most of everyone listening understands who Freddy Krueger is in the zeitgeist. But go to sleep, Freddy kills you. Done. That's the rule. Okay, cool. Stay awake. But if we use that analogy for what we're dealing with pandemic wise, it's like initially it was go to sleep, Freddy kills you. Now it's, well, if you close one of your eyes, Freddy might scratch you a little bit. Then it's like, actually, you know what? If you sleep but don't sleep real heavy, you might just get cut twice. And we the rules keep changing. I know the easy out is, well, the science keeps changing. When you have an abundance of information, you don't know what to believe. What do? Now, for us, and this is where you sit at on this jabs thing does come into play. When I feel like I can't trust the information I've been given by media, by science, by da da da, da, you know what I do know factually? Vitamin D boosts your immune system. You know what I do know factually? Elderberry helps. Vitamin C helps. Um, Eating a good diet helps. Exercise
Zinc.
helps. Zinc helps. So this is what I do know. Since I don't know, the science, I'll say it lightly. The science may change. You know what doesn't change? My immune system. I'm going to keep doing what I can to keep it boosted just in case. And I'm going to wait this thing out for a little while longer before I decide yay or nay. But I'm still leaning mostly towards nay, but stranger things have happened. But I just, if it all were uniform, if the information were uniform, I'm like, you know what? I'll give it a thought. But right now, the information is nowhere near uniform for me. And it's way too obvious to point out people who are profiting off of this. So there's that. But I got long winded. My apologies. Your year in review. Any cool things? Any possibilities you looking forward to next year? Well, this year. I keep saying next year, like it's 2021. This year, sir.
Um, Movies like Doctor Strange, uh, stuff like that. I mean, considering we're still in the middle of the pandemic, it seems to be getting worse. There's not really much more to look forward to. As I was looking forward to traveling, but things have changed.
Well, let me
So
ask you something. If you, because let me. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just got to ask. You said middle of. You presume we're in the middle of it, right?
I don't
Would you
think
not you mean in the middle of it? And I'm sorry, I got way too philosophical. I thought you mean literally just in the middle of what we're going through. Continue. Like, because that hopefully that just means if we're in the middle, then that means we're getting close to the end. I'm being optimistic. My bad.
I don't
Continue.
know. There's some things at this rate we could be at the beginning. We just don't know it.
Wow. Hi, wet blanket. Would you like to make the rest of our viewers feel totally bad?
Just saying, because everything keeps changing. The science keeps changing. This keeps evolving. So we might think in our heads that we're in the middle and the end is right there, but science and the virus might have something else in mind. So we might just be at the beginning. And that would really suck.
I mean,
But so hopefully we are in the middle of it, and then the end is very soon. But I think we're like in the middle between the beginning and the middle. But yeah, I was looking forward to traveling. That changed because of yeah, and
just means you gotta find somewhere else to go. That's all. This means you gotta find somewhere else to go.
yeah, within the U.S.
I mean,
I wanted to get the hell out of here.
You wasn't leaving U.S. territory, sir.
Hmm?
You wasn't leaving U.S. territory. It's going to PR. I mean, if you get off the mainland, you be off the mainland, cool. But yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
All right, because I'm like, don't be one of those MAGA folk think Puerto Rico is a totally different country.
I didn't say it. Did that come out? I said I want to get out of here.
Right.
50 states. It's not part of 50 states.
So you mean off the mainland? All right, I got you.
That's what I'm saying. And then there was other places I wanted to go to, but that can't happen. So yeah.
Looks like you might have to go to a shithole country. I don't know.
I don't even think that will be allowed to happen, my guy. Like I said, we can't even go to freaking Canada, and it's right there. Or Mexico.
I think you go to Mexico. I think you go to Mexico.
Not without the same restrictions that PR had.
Now, where else we gonna get our cocaine from?
Colombia. Nah.
Okay.
What else is there to look forward to?
I mean, I'm gonna be the optimistic one here. We got plenty of good stuff to look forward to. We're gonna look forward to warm weather. We're gonna look forward to some warm weather, man.
Okay,
you know what I mean, it's not.
I can go to Vegas for that. I ain't worried about warm weather. I'm just.
It ain't warm. It ain't hot. It ain't 95 in Vegas right now.
It's like 70 or 60, dog. That's warm enough. Who wants to live in 90-degree weather? That's too hot. 70, 60 is good.
Nah, I'm in Texas, and I like the sun minus the humidity. But all right, before we get to rambling, let's get to the.
My guy, you lied to me, but go ahead.
Nah, that was you. You brought that with you. Anywho, perfect segue though. Yesterday it came down that the Supreme Court was like, nah, B, when it comes to forcing companies with 100 employees or over to force vaccinate. The Supreme Court was like, Supreme Court was like, nah, B, we're not good with that. But the wild part is, for the healthcare workers, it still stands. And I'm just like,
have fun replacing all those people.
I mean, but if you, I don't know. I don't know anyone really in the healthcare industry that hard. Because it's like, if you've been a doctor or nurse for X amount of years, what you gonna do? Quit?
Yeah,
you could though. You can start your own private practice. So
I'm about to say,
you can start your own practice. You can start your own practice.
There's a lot of people quitting right now.
Oh, we are in the Great Resignation, sir. Everybody's like,
so
yeah. We in the Great Resignation. Everybody's like, fuck this shit.
But I'm out. Well, yeah.
Because and I think the thing that's getting lost here is speaking from that side of it, is not so much. I don't think, and I could be going on a limb, and you tell me what you hear on your end of it. I'm not hearing a whole, outside of them cats that's like flat out off the deep end. I'm not hearing a whole lot of people like, nah, fuck the vaccine per se. what I'm hearing a lot of is let me wait this thing out and see what happens. And don't force me to do shit. Like that's the thing. Don't force me to do shit. And I'll be honest, the counter arguments I'm hearing, at least to me, are weak. Well, you have vaccinated when you were a kid. Fam, I couldn't even pick what channel I wanted to watch when I was 5. What are you talking about? Miss me with you. Well, you're vaccinated when you were a kid. Like I had a choice. I had to
Nah.
eat Brussels sprouts when I was a kid too. Didn't have a choice. Like stop
Oh yeah.
trying to compare what happens when you're 4 to now. Like stop, just stop. But I think just a lot of what I'm saying is like, look, whether I'm with it or against it, let me figure it out. But don't force me to put something in my body that I don't necessarily want to. Like I think some folks gloss over, dog. Most vaccines are backed by years and years and years and years of research. This had 8 months, give or take. Pardon people if they have a reason for being hesitant. And yeah, so I don't want to go down the rabbit hole, but Supreme Court was like, nah. And I haven't seen a lot of reaction, but I'm seeing some folks are really like legit pissed off that. So let me get this straight. Since I work for a company that has 100 employees, you're gonna force me to do it. But if I work for a mom and pop spot with 50 employees, I ain't got it. So I get in that regards we're striking down, but how'd you feel about it, man?
I mean, I hate being on the side of politicians. So it's like, yeah, Supreme Court have done a lot of stupid shit, and then they done some good stuff. So I guess this is one of the good stuff for once.
Depends
Like,
on where you
yeah,
sit.
that.
Depends on where you sitting, but continue.
Like you just said. So if I have 99 employees instead of 100, they don't have to forcibly get it. So what is one person going to make a difference? If I'm a mom and pop shop and I'm dealing with people's food or whatever, and I'm unvaccinated, what's the difference? I'm still dealing with the public, right? I can still technically be spreading around and be the reason why this is never going to end, right? Right. So I don't understand I don't understand that shit.
It's
Right.
like, look, at this point,
I
and
don't understand it.
I've said this to many people, at this juncture, if you have such an issue with, oh my God, so and so have a mask on, is that look, your only safeguard at this point is to not leave your house. But the moment you leave your house, you put yourself at risk. It's
No
just a
matter
matter
what.
of to what degree. But honestly, it's like I can't even, now it's certain things I won't do. Like I do not want to be in a enclosed space with no fresh air without a mask on and so on and so forth. I'm not certain chance I'm not going to take. And that might not even be pandemic related. That might just be for like your own health reasons. Like, you know what? Maybe we should keep the mask thing in place on airplanes. Maybe that's not a bad idea. Because ain't nothing worse. You know that part when you get on the plane and you just sitting there waiting for takeoff. I swear you can hear like 19 different people cough. Like you're sitting there waiting for takeoff. You're like, and I'm like, yo, fam, cover your mouth. And we on this enclosure, hopefully with good air filters. Yeah, I'm like, maybe the mask in place, maybe mask in place on airplanes. That should be the case going forward anyway. But
Well, yeah, covering your mouth, just not your nose, because I'm sorry, I can't, especially if you're on a long flight. I'm not wearing a mask the whole flight. You lost
well,
your
you got it
mind.
depends on what kind of it can depends on what kind of mask you got. Yeah, like for real, does depend on what kind of mask you got. But yeah, I hope like I said, I'm optimistic that we will come out of this sooner rather than later. I wasn't freaked out by the Supreme Court's decision. I was kind of shocked though. I gotta admit, I was shocked. I wasn't displeased, but I was shocked. I didn't think that was gonna I didn't think it was gonna go that way.
Yeah,
So
yeah, just don't, like I said, my issue was always not which side you're on, it's just stop forcing people to do this stuff, man.
and that's the thing I think a lot of people don't miss because the counter is, well, if you don't, you're the reason it's still around. Da, 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 da.
That's not true. because
I don't.
considering, well, go ahead.
I was gonna say, but that's the problem. I don't know what's true anymore. And well, just look it up. Look up what? Because I can find just as many articles legit from medical professionals saying something completely different than what mainstream media wants us to believe. And that's my point of, you know what? Even if I want to get on board, it's too much contradictory information out there. Vitamin D still works. But you were saying?
Moving on.
So, all right, that was the most unsmooth transition ever, but something you came across. I'm gonna let you set that off. Books are being banned.
Hold on, let me pull up the article real quick. Yeah, books are banned in schools or catching fire. Black author says uproar isn't about students. So basically, there's some black authors that have, of course, books in school, and I guess they talk about kind of critical race theories type stuff or something within that lines, and they're trying to get rid of that stuff, so they're pulling their books, and the authors are basically questioning like why, and getting
Hmm.
getting mail and emails from school saying, yeah, we're pulling your book. It's like, why? But I guess that's what I guess for some people, excuse me, for some people, I guess that's good news if you really want the critical race theory to be non-existent. And for some people, like the authors and reality, that's bad news. So I was like, we kind of already touched on this in the previous episode, about critical race theory. So I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole. But it's just like, what are we doing, people? Like, why?
Well, I'm
Just go ahead.
I'm afraid of what we're doing, and we talked about this before. A friend of the show, a buddy of mine, Dorothy, who happens to be a white woman, explained like maybe this kick we had with BLM and everything else about tearing down the racist statues and every edifice that has connection to racism and the old South, that might not be such a good idea because once it's gone, and you now have no proof that anything happened. So we already to the point, like I told you, it's grand scale stuff. And I want to say, nah, there's no way that could happen, but stranger things have happened. And what I'm going out of here is like, look, if you pull down every statue that was racist, you change every Robert E. Lee school name and street name, right? Now it's like, like, oh, I bet. So we're gonna pull these books too that talk about racism. We're gonna pull everything that has something to do with racism. It's like, whoa, 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 wait a minute. But the problem is, as I told you, hypothetically, your imaginary grandkids might exist in a world where there is nothing that shows racism existed. And in places like Texas, where they don't even want to use the word slavery. What is it, indentured or something servant that they try to water it down with. That's really getting to the point in some places, and this happened in Katy, Texas, by the way. The author is Jerry Craft, and he wrote a couple graphic novels. 2019, A New Kid, and another one called Class Act. And this is from Katy, Texas. They're like, yeah, we're pulling the book because you talk about racism. But yeah, I think it can get very scary very quickly if we get to the point where we're pulling everything back, coupled with we don't want to talk about critical race theory. And now it's like, well, what happens when you go to Google certain things? I told you there's certain services you can employ to pull shit off the internet for you. So the internet's not safe anymore. So you start scrubbing the internet. And again, I get it. I'm going down the conspiracy theory rabbit hole a little bit. You start scrubbing the internet. We snatched down all the statues, all the monuments. Now they're pulling books, and voila, in 20, 40 years, it's almost as if slavery never happened. We just happened to be here.
No,
Well, that's not true. Really? How? Point it out. Where's your books? Oh shit, they pulled them. Where's your
no.
articles? Let's look something up. Oh shit, it's gone. You see what I'm saying? So I'm like, this might work against if we ain't careful.
I mean, no. If that was the case, and that was going to happen, it wouldn't be my grandkids that will have it would be my great grandkids that would have to experience that. Because as long as the people who are alive now from the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, 2020s now, those are all still people who are involved in the shit and know what our history is. So you gotta wait for all of them to die. Then you can basically start to brainwash motherfuckers and say that yeah, race thing never happened, slavery never happened, we was always here. But I guess that maybe it could be a good thing because then we can say, well, they never owned us, so technically we're all equals.
You don't want to do that because that the problem is the easy and obvious and very factual counter to black inferior claims of black inferiority is
What's
history.
false?
Is history. So when you look at the fact that we were dragged here and this country was literally built off of our backs, we all know the story. Well, we all know the story now. Let me emphasize that. We know the story as it stands today.
Yeah, but there's a history before that.
No. No. See, let me get Rose going. I apologize. I should have got there quicker. What I was saying was, whenever you get those white folks who want to point out, well, black people here are savages, you commit all the crimes, you sell all the drugs, blah, 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 blah. It's a nice way to pretend the world started from 1965. It's a nice way to pretend, well, from 1965 forward, shit has been equal. One, it hasn't, not even legally. But two, you don't understand. It dismisses the history of how we got in this country and the things that have happened to us in generational traumas, right? So if you talk about, maybe, 50, 60, 80 years from now, your hypothetical great grandkids are like, well, hey, everybody should be equal. No. That's not going to happen because there are people today with evidence of why things are not equal, still thinking it's all on us. We should be equal. What's wrong with you, black people? I don't know. Did you miss the lynchings? Did you kind of miss the redlining, the obvious nepotism on your end of the fence, the entire
I'm
white
saying
supremacist
I
system?
get what you're saying. I'm saying all those people are dead. We're dead. You keep saying I'm saying way down the line where everyone that's alive now is gone. So if they don't know, and if they wipe out and clear everything, you can basically say we are you because everyone with that old mentality that you're just talking about is gone. So you can basically, I'm playing devil's advocate. You can basically get a clean slate and have a level playing field. Well, of course, if we have a new system and shit,
That's a hope.
But yeah, hopefully we do by it. But so yeah, if we have a new system, everyone's on a new playing field, and no one knows about the past. Thanos' voice. I wiped out everyone to near Adam, so those who are now cannot remember the past. So technically, it could work out in a way that would technically benefit us, because then there's everyone that's before is dead. You have a clean slate. Hopefully, there's a new system, and then we can start fresh, and then everyone can truly be on equal playing fields. Because white people won't have that supremacy again, because they won't be like, well, we conquered this, we controlled y'all, blah blah blah, and black people can't know the feeling like being owned or whatever. So maybe in a fucked up way, it could work out. It's not gonna work out like that, but I'm just saying, like, playing devil's advocate, just to humor you people. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be entertained sometimes. But I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna ask you a question, and I'm not denying what you said could be possible. I'm just like, I didn't think about it, but it's a very slippery slope when we start talking about removing this, removing that, and then you start saying, wait a minute, it's in conjunction with, hey, we're going to take this down, take that down. I was like, oh, hold up, we're getting to a scary point where if we're not careful, the elements are there to remove any proof that what we said happened.
Well, you're gonna
And
remove. Okay, well, if you just want to do the internet and books, are you gonna remove movies and shows too?
yeah, I mean, did you? Okay, so classic example. Did you see Queen and Slim or no?
No, no.
All right, I understand it. Now, Queen and Slim, we can make the argument it's pretty much black trauma porn, and we all. I know I left the theater with my head scratched, like,
And
what?
that's why I didn't want to watch it. But go
Did
ahead.
we? Did we? Did Now I said this would be a good movie 30, 40 years from now, when the wound isn't fresh, when things like this don't happen, right?
Still will.
And it won't. We're going to talk about that in a moment. It won't. But I was like, this is a good thing 30, 40 years from now, things like that don't happen. But in 30, 40 years, we don't need to hear about black trauma in that degree. So no, I don't think black trauma is, like you said, black trauma is profitable now because it's still occurring. But 40 years from now, 2 generations from now, I certainly hope things will be different.
We
And
hope.
if we as black people, if we as people in this country will consistently think it's never going to change, guess what? It's never going to change.
We
I
have
think we're.
ways to go for that utopia that you're talking about. We have
I don't think
ways
it's.
to go.
I don't think it's utopian. I think we're seeing it now. You just mentioned, like, as we always said, this country in particular, in a lot of ways, has a class problem disguised as a race problem. The Great Resignation is a sign that people, like, basically, in general, people, black, white people, are getting fed up. They're getting tired. They're tired of this pandemic. They're tired of bullshit wages. They're tired of taking the blame and watching the Bezos and the Zuckerbergs and the rich ruling elite seemingly do and dictate everything. People
So
are
they're
tired.
tired, but they're still distracted, and we're still fighting ourselves. Think about what we just said. We're still fighting about who has a jab and who doesn't. That still goes on. There's a lot of distractions going on right now to keep you from actually being together and being tired together so we can stop this shit. There's little hiccups here and there, but for the most part, we're still divided. That's within our own race, and that is as a country. So until the distraction goes away, which I'm pretty sure they're doing on purpose to keep you from actually thinking about shit, because then us being tired, like, yo, you tired of this stuff? And I'm talking to a invisible white man. And he's like, yeah, I'm tired. It's like, yeah, we both tired, man. Why don't we just do something about it, man? We good. All right, cool. But nah, we still distracted, dog. So I get what you're saying, but it's still a distraction. That's why I said we got ways to go.
I try to see the upside, and I'm like, like I said, we are watching systems fall as we speak, and watching age-old systems fall is not gonna come without some growing pains. Right now, teachers are on. I believe last I heard, teachers were on strike in Chicago over the pandemic, military mask, da 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 da.
Right.
And in general, once upon when I was growing up, homeschooling was like, what's wrong with you? Like, homeschooling was really talked about a context like you couldn't survive in a regular school,
Same here.
right?
It was yeah, go ahead. Not now though.
Now, you know what? If I homeschool you, one, you will. In fact, there are actually metrics that show, especially black kids, do better homeschool. We're watching systems fall. We're
Well,
watching. Once upon a time, we couldn't do this podcast. Once upon a time, we would have to take our idea to some major TV, whatever, and say, hey, my son and I want to do a podcast. You know what? The beauty about it is the thing I don't understand about people bitching about what they see in the media. Da, da, da. We are in a creative age. Go make it yourself. So while I do get bitching about how trash the Eternals was, the cool thing is we have the means to go make it ourselves now. Hollywood is falling in certain aspects. Tyler Perry has constructively giving them the finger. We're watching things fall. So I am optimistic. And remember, the world pre 1990 barely exists. It was one generation, 1990 to 2010. In that 20-year span, the world looked different. All it took was 20 years. Same. And if you really want to get narrow, you can say 2000, 2010. The whole world looked different. That's all it took was 10 years. So if you can do that in 10 years, oh, I'm very optimistic things can change. And I don't think it's going to take 5, 6, 100, 5, 6 generations, 100, 200 years from now. No. We saw the entire world look different in 10 short years. All of a sudden, there were no more
technology. I can't say the word. Technology, yes, but mindset still the same.
That wasn't just technology.
It's still the same.
It made the world smaller. When you like the thing about social media is it made the world smaller. All of a sudden, I can have a conversation. I can have a conversation with a dude in China about whatever. Before that was unheard of. So with the advent, so 2000 to 2010, we didn't have CDs anymore. The music industry, that system started to crash and fail. So it just 10 short years, look how different the world was. We stopped having to rely on the big three, NBC, CBS, ABC for all of our news. We figured out, like, wait a minute, that's an agenda. They telling us some shit that I'm here. That ain't what's really going on. So if we can do that, it wasn't just a shift in technology. Technology was the catalyst.
Everything you just said was technology based.
Right. But the technology change led to a mind shift, a cultural shift, and systems started falling. And I'm saying if that's just 10 years, I'm fully confident that, I think Blockbuster fell.
It did fail because of Netflix and other stuff now. But
I'm just saying, like, it's not going to take until $21.99. It's not going to take till $21.99.
No.
And I'm not going to be shocked if we see seismic change in your lifetime. It will not shock me. I'm not sitting here thinking it's going to take us that long to see another seismic shift.
I am, because as technology evolves, we aren't. We're still complacent. We still have mentalities from back then. And what was I about to say? Damn it, I had something. When I have a thought and I just lose it. Yeah, like I said, how do you, this is the question that I've always asked on the show, and you've never really gave me a straight answer because you don't know either. It's like, how do you kill a mindset or a mentality? This is what we've had, the same mindset and mentality for a long time. Well, how do you switch that so quickly? You can't. That takes time. That takes generations, because you have to not only change it yourself, you got to change it for your children and your children's children to teach them something different, because that's who they're learning from. They're learning from us. So if our mindset is still the fucking same, what you think we're going to pass on to these next young people? It's the same mentality. So we have to change our mentality and then pass it on, but that takes generations.
The children shall lead it. It's the same way it always been. Like I told you, and an example I'll give you to that, and I understand it's not complete, it's not 100%, but the example I'll give you to that is this. Once upon a time, not so long ago, a white man could wake up and say, look, Johnny, the world is ours. You look at his white kid and say, look, Johnny, the world is ours. And Johnny will walk outside and everything around would confirm it. Black people were inferior, women were inferior, immigrants were inferior. Every position of power was held by white men. Every major decision was made by white men. So once upon a time,
some of that hasn't changed. But go ahead.
Once upon a time, you could say, if you're a white man, you can say that to your white male child, and the world will confirm it for you. That is simply not the case now. The CEO of Uber is Indian.
Yeah,
The
other
number
people,
one public, like I said, it is, you cannot walk around with the mentality of I am superior of all things. You're gonna walk outside and get your chin checked.
you can. Yeah.
Jeffrey Epstein, anyone? Donald Trump, anybody? The Cuomo's most recently. If you are a white male and accustomed to everything being your way, the world does not confirm that anymore.
It
To a certain
does.
degree,
It does
it
subliminally. It
does.
does.
How? Like in certain aspects, certain pockets. But like, for
Bruh,
example,
look at this. Look at this. I'm just use one example, bruh. We just want to say sports. We have a league, two of the main leagues in this country, NFL and NBA, right?
mhm,
Majority of those owners are all white in a league full of black players. A lot of the coaches, especially in the NFL, is only about one or two black coaches in the league
nah,
for the black people, in the
with the
league for
last,
the mostly for the black players. So
there's
most
only
of the
one.
people that are in power, government officials, all that, rich billionaires that are paying these motherfuckers, all that are all white. We're still in a white supremacist system. We still have a white way of thinking. That shit ain't changed. Now, the only thing that
It's
has changed that I do agree with you that you always say is that we're allowed to make money now. So it's not just them. So you
mhm.
can have other people that can own something. But if you own something, but you're still in a white supremacist system, a white way of thinking, how much do you really own?
You still own a lot because you don't have to adhere to certain rules. That's the beauty of ownership. That is the importance of ownership from a business standpoint.
Still
That is
have to
the
comply to
importance.
government rules, dog. And who mostly runs the government? Okay.
And that's where we get that weird intersection between race and class, because the bottom line is, like Jay-Z said years ago, I got 10 pass paraphrase, I got 10 passports, I ain't never going to jail. Asylum can be purchased. So the color that matters at a certain point ain't black or white no more, is green. You amass a certain amount of wealth,
Yeah.
you by default have a certain amount of power, and you become bulletproof.
No one's bulletproof. But
Dave,
nah.
no one's bullet. I mean, I hear you, but what charges did Trump get brought up on again? Oh, that's right, nothing. No one's
That was
bulletproof.
that was when he was in office. Ain't some of that shit still going on? I haven't been paying attention, so I don't know.
No. Come on, fam. How you talking about grabbing women by the crotch and you still get elected? You pretty much cop to sexual assault to a certain degree and still get elected. No one's bulletproof. No, that ain't true. That ain't
It,
true. You got enough
white,
money. You got enough
that's
money. And I don't
that's
think race matters. You
that's
get enough
that's that's
money.
caucus. If Barack had said the same shit, you think he would have been elected? No. Okay, then that's caucus privilege right there, my guy. Point I'm trying to make. But
I think, but no, I don't. I don't think. I think we are. I think we need to be very careful ourselves about thinking nothing can change, because when you
I,
think that way, nothing
I'm not
changes.
saying that. My point is things will change.
Mhm.
But I'm just not saying that it will happen as fast as you think. I think it's going to take time and some unconditioning and people. I hate to say get woke because that's so fucking stupid. But open your third eye, get woke, and
Wow, he
just
used both of them. My bad.
it's
Continue.
exactly that's
Right,
that,
we had the double.
I, I hate that shit so much saying that, but you
I
get
mean,
what I'm trying to say.
I
Basically,
know.
wake up, take the red pill, and then we can start seeing things, and then we can be objective on all sides and come together and fix what we've been taught that's really a broken and an outdated mentality. And that's going to take time, in my opinion.
Okay,
Maybe
I
not
agree.
my
Like I said,
lifetime, but maybe the next after couple
and
generations.
I think that's where we differ. You're right. It's just I think you're right. We're saying the same thing. We're just talking about the time frame is different.
Yeah,
Because I mean, I told you some things and I've been right. I told you, uh, Derek Chauvin was going to fry. He
I
fried.
said that. Yeah, I agree with you. Go ahead.
You know, I told you them white boys that killed Ahmaud Arbery was gonna fry. They
They
fried.
had to. Go ahead.
I was wrong about Rittenhouse. I will own that.
I was
I
right.
knew he was.
I was
I
right.
was wrong about Rittenhouse.
Exactly.
I
Go
just
ahead.
knew he was gonna get it. I think I was wrong. I was wrong. So far I'm wrong about the Capitol rioters. I said somebody's getting double digit years. Somebody's getting at least a dime. So far that has not happened, which was again shocking to me. That was very shocking. But
Nah, privilege, baby. Go ahead.
you can't attack the establishment of whiteness and get away with it. But apparently, I guess you can. Um, so
We wouldn't have made it to the door. So I mean, yeah, you can.
true that. True that. I mean, but it's like things are changing. Class example right
Slowly.
now.
This is a snail
Yeah.
race.
But we gonna take bets on this one. And I'll be first to say I'm not making light of the situation. It goes back to what I said when we started the conversation. I hate that we have to talk about it.
Right. Agreed.
But let me make sure I get the names right. Jason Walker, feel free to Google it, was murdered, and I will say murdered, by an off-duty Cumberland County Sheriff's Office, Lieutenant Jeffrey Hash. This is in North Carolina. So I'm trying to make sense of it. I do understand in the heat of the moment, things can go crazy. I do understand. This is me trying to give the benefit of the doubt and put myself in those shoes. According to the officer, dude ran up, jumped on his truck. Dude snatched off the windshield wiper, started banging on it, and broke his windshield. He had his wife and kid in the car. Felt the need to defend himself because North Carolina has these stupid ass stand your ground laws. Here we go with that again.
For one person. Go ahead.
And shoots and kills him because it's self-defense. All right. So here's my thought. If I'm sitting in a car, right, I'm just running this through as it's been told to us, and someone runs up and like just blah, jumps on the fucking hood. Fuck. But then they snatch the windshield wiper off. They start banging on the door. My first instinct is to pull off. Because clearly this person ain't all there. Because you done hopped on my truck and you banging on the glass and shit. You ain't wrapped too tight, fam. So I'm going to pull off. Worst case, I'm going to make you a hood ornament. You know what I'm not going to do? What's not on my mind is opening the door with my spouse and my child sitting right there. Because now I'm exposing them to possible threat. Now, I will say this is a very Northeastern blue state mentality. I grew up in a place where guns were not our best friends. I presume North Carolina may be an open carry state. I don't know. But if you come up in a culture where, you getting guns for Christmas, hi, Texas. And, the final result of all, the final way you end all disagreements is, well, I can shoot you. Maybe I would open the door and say, I need to neutralize this threat. But my thought is, it's you versus my truck. I like the odds of my truck. Now, the sad piece of this story is this actually happened, and dude shot and killed Jason Walker. He stood there and made phone calls to 911. He administered no aid. He told the nurse that was there, that was behind him, he's already gone. He's telling 911 he's already gone. He's also telling 911 operator, please send help quickly. The people are gathering and they're hostile. And yes, I'm well aware this made news because you have a white cop and a black person. So let's talk about the elephant. But I'm just like, I'm running it through and I'm removing my bias. And I'm just, this is, if you sat in front of me and told me, well, what happened? And it's just some parts of this story that don't add up. But, sir, your thoughts.
See, when you first told me about it, that was and I read it, the first thing I thought was exactly what you said. If somebody was to jump on my car or bang on my door, unless I'm in traffic and can't freaking move, I'm driving the hell off. You're not gonna catch me. I'm in my car with the doors locked. You know how hard you have to bang on my window to break it with your body part?
Right.
So that part don't even make sense. So you use the windshield wiper to bust your windshield. Do you know how strong this dude got to be? He got to
Right.
be.
Now, when you hyped up on certain drugs, you do get the Incredible Hulk effect. I get it, but
You got to be a super crackhead at that point, boy. But like, nah, like I don't even hyped up on. I don't think you'll be strong enough to break a windshield like that, especially with a. But that's just me. But yeah, that was going on. My first instinct is I need to blast this dude. My first instinct is like,
right, like you know what? Let's
yeah. Wax on, Daniel son. Wax off.
Yeah, fam, I'm gonna make you a speed bump for real.
At that point, yeah, like if you're in, like I'm gonna scream to the window. If you're in front of my car in 2 seconds, you will be a speed bump. All right,
Oh,
thank
I
you.
ain't screaming shit. I'm like, as soon as you start banging on the joint. But like I said, I recognize that as a very northeastern way to think.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, you're right in that sense
All
because
right,
guns.
all right, hold on. Let's make it real fun. Let's make it real for a hot second, right?
Okay,
If this is happening to you, you got the blicky, you got the blicky right next to you. What you gonna do? Run him over, reach for the blicky.
run them over.
You think so?
Like
Right, and that's where it starts getting.
no. I'm saying no. I'm saying if he's at my passenger door, if everything he says is true, it depends. If I have my wife, my theoretical wife, and the child in the back seat, right, and he somehow strong enough, he rips off the windshield wiper, and he's on my kid or the wife's side of the door, and he breaks that. All right, I'm getting the blicky. You're right. But if he's on my side or in front of my car,
Yeah,
on the
because
side
remember
with the
he jumped on
windshield.
the hood. Remember he jumped on the hood.
So if he's on the
Allegedly, he
hood,
jumped on the hood.
if he's on the hood, he ain't gonna be on there much longer. My first instinct is that, you know what, I'm gonna get the blinking, I'm gonna open the door and fire him. Like, no, because it depends on what he's on, and if your aim's not great, that ain't gonna do nothing. You probably might just walk through that crap and come and try to attack you or whatever. So nah, I'm just full speed ahead, full throttle. Like nah, they say a lot of this story doesn't make sense, and then there's the fact that you didn't even want the nurse to administer aid on him. Sounds even more fishy. Um, I think they say it was a body cam footage out. I don't
There's the
know.
body cam footage was released by the cops who showed up there, of course, after the fact. And the fact that this dude was like, he just ran, and I quote, ran into traffic and jumped on a moving vehicle.
Moving vehicle? I thought you
Right.
said he was
This,
stopped. The way
this
they
was
describe
the
the
male
story,
jumped on my windshield, jumped on my vehicle and broke my windshield. I just saw him. That is a direct quote.
that don't even sound
And,
right.
right, and I'm like,
That don't even sound right.
make it make sense.
And like I said, there's people that said there's witnesses there that said that none of that shit didn't happen.
The lady, the nurse who actually tried to administer aid by this off-duty pig just sat there. Yeah, she said it didn't happen that way.
That's what I'm saying. Like I've seen that part where a witness there said that didn't happen, and the story doesn't even freaking add up anyway.
Well, she's gonna. I mean, here's the sad reality. She's gonna have to move. Sad reality is she's gonna have to move. When this is over, she's gonna have to move.
Oh yeah, she's gonna get harassed like a month. Yeah,
She gonna have to move.
it's
And I respect her bravery. I respect her trying to save a man's life, black, white, whatever. I expect her for trying to save this man's life.
exactly.
But she's gonna have to move. She's
Yeah,
absolutely gonna have to. You might need to
yeah.
move to California. Like leave North Carolina, go to California.
Go anywhere,
Because
just not there. But which
she got to
is
move.
this is why I said nothing's changed. Because the fact that she has to move in fear for her life should show you how much fucked up system we have and how much of a gang-like mentality these motherfuckers are. So it's
Well,
like,
that's the thing, and that goes to Chauvin frying, Amber Geiger getting fried. I get, folks think she should have got fried up a little more, but Amber Geiger getting fried, like, yeah, you shoot somebody in your house in their house, you should probably get a little more time. But the end result is she went to jail, and it's like the winds of change are blowing through. And as I told you,
I'm
with
about to go.
Chauvin,
I'm
you
about to
don't
go on
get
a
to
little rant.
murder us anymore.
I'm about to go
But
on a little rant. Excuse me.
go for it.
There's a reason why I say nothing's changed, and this is why a reason why I say everything you just said doesn't matter, because pigs have a mentality, right? Like it's like this. It's like getting a lion to be a vegetarian. It's not in their nature. It's not going to happen. They are carnivores, and more importantly, more similar to cops, they are hunters. And what are the pigs? What are their ancestors? You can answer this.
They're direct descendants of slave catchers,
All right.
sir.
So what were slave catchers? Basically, hunters, right? Hunters and executioners, basically. And fast forward till now, what are they basically now still? Hunters and executioners. They basically have the mentality of Judge Dredd. Do they not? Yes, they do. We've all met a cop or two that, stick their chest out and basically said, I am the law. And if you don't comply, something will happen to you. And that might be any race, not just to us, but I'm pretty sure most of us. That's to everybody, right? Yeah, exactly. Right. So I'm saying their whole conception and their whole mentality is that they've been hunters and killers their whole career, their whole existence.
Right.
So you telling me that because a couple officers now are starting to get guilty sentences and actually go to jail, that mentality is going to change? I don't think so. It's like telling a lion not to be a carnivore, not to be a hunter, not to be a killer. They have the mentality of Judge Dredges. And I'm gonna use your argument that you used against the pigs when you say, well, cop presence around doesn't stop crime, doesn't stop people from killing people, doesn't stop people from raping people, doesn't stop people from doing serious crime with the fear of going to jail or being killed with the death penalty, depending on what state you're in. Yeah, and that's my same logic I'm using against the pigs is there's no fear of going to jail because one, regular citizens don't fear it. So two, why would I fear it when I actually have the government behind me and the world's most powerful union? So I have a way greater chance of getting off for doing something, for killing someone or doing something crazy than a regular citizen does, and they don't care. So why should I care when my chances of being punished are way lower? I'm not. It's getting a little higher, I'm sure, but it's still lower than the regular average citizen. So since they have a mentality of being judge, jury, and executioner since their inception, and it's still to this day, how do you kill a mentality of that way, even if with a couple of guilty sentences? And I don't think that's going to change anytime soon.
Well, I was looking at it like that. The answer to that, and again, maybe it is me being optimistic. Let's just say you grew up in a house with three brothers, right?
Right.
And you and your three brothers are used to doing certain things, and you just get away with it, just kind of do it. And your parents just kind of like, hey, stop doing that. Hey, stop doing that. And then one day comes, you and your brothers are doing some crazy shit. And your dad is like, you know what? I've had enough. So you sit there and watch your father tearing in your brother's ass, right?
Yeah.
So as the brother that sat there to watch it, what would that naturally make you do? Like, oh shit, he just got his ass whooped. Let me not do the thing that made him get his ass whooped so I don't get my ass whooped.
But
Now to extrapolate that to what we're dealing with,
that's
everything
different.
you just said, most powerful union, all the backing, back to blue, all the bullshit, right? Bit blue wall.
Right.
In spite of all of that, Chauvin is in jail pretty much for life. That is the wake up call.
It's not.
That should be, that is, I just saw my brother get his ass whooped. I might not want to do that because I might get my ass whooped too.
But the analogy is different because it's like saying that happened, but your mom was on your side. So your mom can prevent that from happening. So the brother has his mom to back him against the dad. So that you pin against each other. So you have a safety blanket. That's the better analogy that I will use. And that's what these pigs have. And more important than that, like I said, to me, it's just a mentality thing. This is how most pigs think. So how do you kill that when this is how they thought since their inception? They are hunters and killers. And they're hunters and killers that is backed by the government that has the world's most powerful union. So, and like I said, for me, the conviction rate is cool. That's great. But I want to get to a point where we don't have to have a conviction of nothing that, where they stop killing people. That's the whole goal. And I don't see that goal stopping. Even if they kill, let's say this year, they kill 100 more people and 99 of them or 100 of them get convicted. There's still 100 more bodies dead. And there will be another 100 more. The goal is to not have another 100 more. And I don't see that changing anytime soon if the pigs are concepted the way they're concepted, because they are built from white supremacy and they have a white supremacy way of thinking. So as long as the foundation of pigs are fucking slave catchers, nothing will change. I don't care how many convictions we get. And that's the same thing for this fucking government. The foundation is built on fucking forefathers, racist forefathers that did not include everyone who lives in this country right now. So if you want some shit to change, we have to blow up, set a fire the foundation and make something new that's fair for everybody. So that's why I said for me, nothing will never change, because the foundation of pigs and the system is built on racist bullshit. No, I'm sorry.
Nah, B, okay, nah, B. You know what? I don't have a rebuttal. I don't have a rebuttal. I just got my fingers crossed. I don't have a rebuttal. You are correct. That's where I have a problem when Barack Obama and other motherfuckers get to talking this whole police reimagine. Like, there is no reimagining. It is burn it to the ground.
Exactly.
And start over. So
exactly.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. You're right. You're right. Well, hell, we I think we'll put a pin in it. We still got a couple things it's gonna get to. We're not trying to be here 2 hours. I think that's a great place to kind of put a hold on this one. The recap is kind of light. Like, for real, thank everybody for rocking with us. We will make sure we uphold our end of the deal and make sure, by the weekend you can count on a new episode from us. I'm looking forward to the future for a lot of reasons. Looking forward to hanging out with you, man. Can't wait for you to get here. We go do some cool stuff. Gonna be some good movies. We got warm weather coming, and summertime is always a beautiful time for the most part. Um, let's not start pulling books and trying to erase certain pieces of history. Look, it happened. You got to learn from it. You wipe it out, you can't learn from it. And Jason Walker, I just as more details come out, I'm hoping it starts to make something that resembles sense. But right now, it doesn't make sense, and apparently, the police are in on it, and that is troubling as well. And that speaks to what you mentioned. And Supreme Court, that was wild. That was wow. I did not expect it. I did not expect that at all. Like, I just knew I did not expect that at all. But that's that. But yeah, your recap, sir.
Yeah, like I said, looking forward to some movies. I guess I'm looking forward to sometime. Can't go to where I wanted to go, but maybe that would change. Even though I know it probably won't. Supreme Court. Yeah, I probably was a little surprised that they did make the decision that they made, but good for them. I'm happy they did that because brother Biden, it's not looking good for you, partner. You're not getting as much love as you did when you were first elected. Um, yeah, the books being pulled. Yeah, I agree with you. Stop trying to eliminate history. Just learn from it. Because if we don't learn from it, history will repeat itself. Uh, and keep doing what it's doing. And what's the brother's name? I'm sorry, Jason.
Jason Walker.
Jason Walker. Yeah, that's a tragedy. Um, hopefully the actual truth comes out, and hopefully, like I said, the nurse that was behind him, whatever race, I consider you an ally, and hopefully your safety is good. And like you said, yeah, you're gonna have to if you go through it, you're gonna have to get out of town, unfortunately, because of everything I just said. And yeah, I'm not gonna say it anymore because that kind of pissed me off because I went on that little rant. I've seen a little animated. I'm usually not animated. I'm usually calm and cool, collected, but talking about that stuff made me a little animated. I apologize, but yeah, hopefully the truth comes out and justice will be served.
Well, that's what we got. We hope to have another guest. And by the way, as I said, we've said before, if you want to be a guest, hit us up in the comment section, email, DM, whatever, whatever. You know what I mean? Come kick it with us. We love to have you. You do not have to agree. You might love the
Right.
police. It'd be all good. We can talk that thing out.
It'll
I
be
don't like
good.
how it go. We can talk that thing out. But same bad time, same bad channel next week. Get I Said It podcast. Peace.
Yeah.